Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 328 of Super Switch Headz, the premier Nintendo podcast on all of the internet. My name is David Howe, and boy, oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, we have some very special guests joining on today's episode. Please join me in giving a warm welcome back on the show, both of these boys. We got the wonderful B-Bon, Brian Bonnet, and AVK, Alex von Kurkendall. How's it going, gentlemen?
Going great. Happy to be here.
We have you here both today because we are going to be talking about game chat etiquette. That's right. They pushed it hard. They really wanted everyone to use this new feature, and it's got a lot of good about it. It's also got a lot of problems. So we're going to be going through a list of all the improvements we'd like to see added to game chat. Not actually that we'd like to see, that we need added to game chat. Other than that, we've got lots of news and rumors to go over. A lot of Nintendo news. Pokemon Legends ZA has official numbers from Circana. Luigi's Mansion is coming just in time for Halloween to Switch 2. Pikmin 4 is getting a very odd free update and much, much more. But before we get into that, how are you guys doing? You guys have a good week this past week? ABK, how about you? How are you doing?
Yeah, it's been good. Actually, I was thinking about you guys and kind of the origin of our friendship a little bit over the weekend, David. I got to see Ghostland Observatory. They threw a music festival at the REI headquarters store in Denver, and Ghostland was headlining. So I went by for the end of it, had a blast, dancing a little bit with some friends.
Awesome.
And took me back to biking around downtown Austin, like chickens with their heads cut off during South by forever ago.
Oh yeah, sounds like a lot of fun. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian?
It's been a pretty chill week. Nothing too crazy. Just kind of working, playing some games. I like a week that I don't have to journal about. You know, it's nice to have just a good middle of the road week sometimes.
We stand inconsequential culture. That's what I'd love to have a week with no consequence. You know what I mean? Where nothing's happening. I'd love a return to precedent.
World. Yeah, I'm just saying for me personally.
Okay, sure, that too. Yeah,
it's a great way of saying that, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely.
Simply put.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Absolutely. I had a pretty good past week. In fact, the weekend was pretty packed for me. First of all, I want to give a shout out to former host of the show, Matt Stoner, who got married this weekend.
Yay!
And I was at his wedding. It was a super fun time. Him and Casey finally tied the knot. It was a beautiful ceremony. It was a really creative wedding. The dude is like a Meow Wolf freak, obviously. And we know Matt loves his art installations. He basically turned his whole wedding into a Meow Wolf installation. It was really, really cool. It had interactive elements. It had a timeline of both of their lives that started on either end of a hall that collided in the middle with photos on the wall. That was really cool. What else was in there? Oh yeah, the actual ceremony was not actually live. They filmed it because they were already married by the time the wedding happened this past weekend. They got married a couple months ago, and most people didn't know that.
Nice.
And so there was a room with footage of the ceremony when they actually got married. So the actual ceremony was optional. So it was just a really cool, interesting, creative wedding. So I just want to give my love to Matt. Other than that, I went to a Halloween party that was a ton of fun. I went to an Austin record convention, got some good vinyls there. Really happy about that. And then this morning or earlier today, I actually recorded an episode of the Nintendo Dormant podcast with a couple of lovely British boys. And that was a really fun time. We talked all about Pilot Wings. Viewers of the video version might see I've got 3 different systems playing the 3 different Pilot Wings games in the background right now. So shout out Pilot Wings. Shout out the Nintendo Dormant podcast. Definitely check that one out when you get a chance. I'll be on it. I'm not sure exactly when that episode's coming out, but shoot them a subscribe and follow them over on Blue Sky. And also, if you would like to be shouted out, listener, feel free to shoot us a line on our Discord, or please, we would love it if you would leave a comment under the YouTube version of this episode. We will shout you out for sure next week. While you're there, go ahead and like and subscribe for us. Share the show with a friend on Reddit or social media, and we'll be sure to give you your dues on next week's episode of the podcast. But I think with all that out of the way, I think we're ready to get started with the news. What do you guys think? We ready to go?
Let's dive on in.
Let's fucking do it, man. I'm ready to fly.
Jeez.
All right. We're going to start with a little bit of non-Nintendo news here. And we've been talking for the last few weeks about Microsoft and some of their woes. Microsoft and Xbox kind of are taking L after L here. We've got kind of a conglomeration of different Microsoft news. One of them is that the dev kits are also being raised in price, going from $1,500 to $2,000 for a dev kit. I'm not sure exactly like what the going rate is for dev kits for like other companies, but
Right.
seems pretty high. Also, I know like you can just apply for like a dev license. Like for instance, like I have a dev license on my Xbox Series S, so I could like sideload stuff onto it. So I don't know why you would need a dev kit at all for the Xbox. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that situation at all, Brian.
I don't actually know what about these days, because like back in the day when it was like with like cartridges and stuff, it was all CD based, when they weren't just like little computers, that mattered a lot more. So yeah, I don't know what a dev kit does now.
Right.
So
yeah. I know it's weird. Like I think the whole reason you could go into dev mode was to avoid having to pay for a dev kit. It was for like indie developers. But either way, they're getting more expensive. It's not just retailers that are having to pay these tariff fees and maybe the opportunistic profits that Satya Nadella is looking for, that has come out, that basically Satya Nadella needs all of Microsoft's business to be profit driven right now. And this is after he has taken a $96.5 million salary from this past year as well. Obviously, some of that is in stock options and shares that he owns. But that's an insane amount of money to get paid for 1 year, especially after laying off thousands and thousands and thousands of employees. So people are not very happy about that.
Oh yeah, I think after they announced they're like porting the original Halo, they're like remastering it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're remaking it.
And once that leaked, it's just, I mean, after all the L's after L's after L's, like you just said, that was just like, okay, we might as well call it time of death. Microsoft Xbox is completely dead now.
Yeah, I mean,
and Microsoft.
It certainly feels like it, at least in the eyes of gamers right now. I mean, I think like I'm not hearing any excitement around Xbox at the moment, right? I mean, there's the new handhelds that just came out, and I'm hearing some people that got them for free that they think they're cool, but I don't know anybody that's buying the Asus collaboration that they're doing with Microsoft right now. And yeah, I mean, it's, especially with, Halo coming to PS5. I mean, that's freaky to see, right? Like that's like, it feels like a bit of a death knell,
Mm-hmm.
It really
because like that was you bought an Xbox to play Halo. Like that's the killer app. Like that was the reason to do it. And so yeah, if they're just gonna give it away, then it's like, why bother?
Yeah, I mean, I understand kind of, at least if they're trying to make profit, right, then they want all their games to be on the platforms that people actually own, right? Like I think like basically Satya Nadella is like tired of this idea of like, oh, well, Game Pass will like buy goodwill with gamers and will eventually become profitable, right? I think they're just over it, And so obviously now they're going back into what is going to work best for them, which is Halo. So it's like, what will be the thing that gets people to actually buy a game? Remake our most famous game. You know what I mean? So Halo. It's kind of just right. But I just don't understand if they're doing this big third-party push. I really don't understand why we're not seeing more Microsoft on Switch 2 right now. I mean, it is still kind of early days, but I really at this point thought we would have Hi-Fi Rush. I thought we'd have South of Midnight. A lot of those like Xbox exclusives I figured just would be coming to Switch 2, and we haven't heard a single peep about that. I think the thing that we know most is that apparently Starfield is coming to Switch. That's been leaked by Nate the Hate, but it's also apparently coming to PS5, and I imagine those will, both be announced at the same time. But those are according to leakers again. And on top of all of this, the what's her name, Sarah Bond, has reported that the next Xbox is in development and it will be coming out. They're still making hardware, allegedly, according to them.
It exists.
Yeah. At least
allegedly exists.
That's what they're saying. Yeah. I mean, I pretty much believe them, given what they've described it as. Essentially, they're targeting a really high-end experience. So again, expect $1,000 console here. And it's essentially going to be a PC that plays Xbox hardware exclusives. So it's not just like currently the handheld Xbox that they have is really just a PC. Like it doesn't play games that are exclusive to Xbox boxes, right? Even though they say everything is an Xbox now, it's just kind of, that's corporate speak, right? It's kind of a weird strategy that I think is backfiring. But apparently this will play Xbox hardware exclusives, and you'll be able to load other launchers on it as well, including Steam and stuff like that, Epic Games and whatever. So it really seems like they are moving into just making PC games, going third party. I doubt we'll be seeing anything else coming exclusively to an Xbox console. Do you guys have anything else to say about Microsoft before we move on to the next topic?
I'm looking forward to what the super silly name is going to be. Xbox Series X version II or whatever it's going to be.
It could just be 13. That game 13. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really hesitant about anything Microsoft going forward. Satya Nadella has proved himself to be a horrible CEO of this company. And not only that, Phil Spencer has taken, again, just loss after loss after loss in the eyes of the gaming public after, really being loved in the industry for a long time by consumers and, industry people. I think it might be time for a major shakeup. But I think before that ever happens, I think they're going to be exiting the console race. We'll just have to see.
One thing I will say, Dave, that is a little interesting, kind of zooming out a little bit, like it is kind of interesting to me that only one out of the three companies of the major consoles are kind of now pulling out, when we've been to a point where with console gaming where it's really been close, and PC gamers are going to hate me, but I don't really care. It's been so close, like the experience that you have on a console since like PS3. So when they went to cell processing, I think it kind of felt like, oh, these are just proprietary PCs for this company. Sure. So this far down the line, it kind of makes sense that one.
Well, and the only company that really has any exclusives anymore is Nintendo, right? So
exactly.
You've got what's the bug shooter game from Sony that went over to Xbox, or the space shooter. What is that? Helldivers. That went over to Xbox and PC as well. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to keep following this, but I would say take anything coming out of Xbox management's mouth right now with an enormous grain of salt. Moving on. Pokemon Legends ZA has allegedly sold 5.8 million copies in its first week. I know it blew away sales records in Japan, blew away sales records, or at least in recent Nintendo history in America. I think it was the biggest launch since Tears of the Kingdom, I think is what I read from Matt Piscatella from Circana. And so it's really great to see. I mean, I think if you listen to last week's episode, we certainly aren't without complaints about this game and Pokemon in general. I feel like most of the games that come out in the Pokemon series feel like they could use a lot more time in the oven at the very least, and several million more dollars in budget at the very most. That said, this was a pretty fresh game for a lot of people, and I think I enjoyed it a lot more than I was expecting to. Have either of you been playing Pokemon Legends ZA? Brian, have you been playing this game at all?
I have not been. I was kind of like waiting for how everybody was feeling about it before I went and threw the money at it. And I'm honestly, after listening to last week's episode and talking to some of my friends, I might be picking it up sometime soon.
Exact same boat. I listened to y'all's banger of an episode this morning, actually.
Thank you.
Love hearing Austin's voice. It's great to hear that.
Austin's great. Yeah.
But yeah, exact same boat. You guys may have convinced me because the battling looks really fun, and I did enjoy Arceus.
Yeah. The battling is fun. It's a little clunky, but it's their first time doing it. But what it is it feels fresh, right? And I think I mean, we don't get me wrong. Like, we knew this was going to be Nintendo's biggest seller for the year, right? Like, and not only that, it's like apparently half of the sales are on Switch 2 and half of them are on Switch 1. So maybe
5.8 mil is so crazy.
Yeah. Well, it also shows like Nintendo flooding the market with Switch 2 consoles right now is paying off. I'm surprised, like, given the amount of Switch 1s that are out there, that half of the sales are on Switch 2 already, So I think that's really impressive. And I'm happy to see that. I hope that this means more exclusives and more love for Switch 2 going forward, not just these kind of like line straddling, cross-platform releases. We've got Kirby Air Riders coming out. That's going to be an exclusive. I think the new Hyrule Warriors is a Switch 2 exclusive. Is that correct? That's coming out like next week or something.
That's crazy.
There's a Switch 2 version at least.
So that is just around the corner. That is like pretty much 2 weeks away at this point, or a week and a half. So crazy to see. Congratulations to the Pokemon Company. Maybe put some more money into your game next time. Maybe add some voice acting. I think that might go a really long way.
Has anyone talked about how, I don't know, I have the memory of like a baby Ditto, but wasn't the big leak like the day or two before the release of
it was, yeah, because it was around the same time that the game itself leaked as well, and people were putting spoilers online about the game. So it was like, so that big leak was recent. So I'm sure they did not love getting well, I don't know. I wonder if Pokemon Company like loved or hated that everybody was talking about Pokemon the day before their game came out. Yeah, I bet it helped.
Probably Nintendo hated it. Pokemon probably loved it.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Isn't that how it usually is? Anyway, we'll move on to our next bit of news here, and that involves Luigi's Mansion. That's right. Surprising absolutely no one, Luigi's Mansion, which was already announced to be coming to the GameCube Nintendo Classics service on Nintendo Switch Online, is dropping on the Thursday before Halloween, that being October 30th. This is a classic game. I think this is a great game for Nintendo Classics because it's short, not that like intensive. You can kind of play it over the course of a couple days and put it down and be like, wow, I finished a game. I think this is great for the service. Nintendo dropped a really fun little trailer as well with it. Do you guys have any thoughts on Luigi's Mansion coming to Nintendo Switch Online?
I think it's a great addition, especially for people who maybe haven't gotten their hands on a GameCube game, or actually for this specific title, a GameCube controller. This is a great, this game out of every game is a game that was designed for that controller. It was like the first main GameCube game. So I remember having a really great experience with that growing up, and it's very tactile with both the sticks. If you're a fan of the GameCube controller and you haven't played this, it's going to be a great Halloween. Yeah. Brian,
you play Luigi's Mansion back in the day?
That's what I was actually, I haven't played the original Luigi's Mansion, so I'm stoked to dive on in.
Yeah. I think this will be a great first play for anybody that never had the pleasure of playing this game when they were younger. When the game came out, it had kind of like middling. Well, it didn't really have like middling reviews, but people were back and forth on it. Some people thought it was too short. Some people were like, oh, this is basically just a tech demo, like blah, 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 blah. I think with age, a lot of people have really come to love the game. And it's cool now that all 3 Luigi's Mansion games are playable on Switch 2. So it's a good time to be a Luigi's Mansion fan. I guarantee you they're working on the 4th game up in Vancouver right now. I would be very surprised if that's not the next game out of Next Level. But
just a pro tip, if Brian, if you do end up playing it, or anyone else who is looking to pick it up, if you're playing with a standard Switch or Switch 2 controller, it might be a little bit different experience than if you are playing with analog shoulder buttons, because that is one of the first games that ever used analog shoulder buttons for the power of your vacuum and the power of your flashlight. All depends on how hard you're pressing the trigger.
That's a good point. Yeah, I bet there will be some sort of additional button for like the soft and full press in the, I know like the GameCube app on Switch 2 like has that kind of you can change the controls on a per game basis. So I'd be very surprised if they didn't have something to accommodate for that. But yeah, maybe we'll check in next week and see what Nintendo ended up doing for that. Because that is a really good point. But we'll move on now to our next bit of news, and that involves a very strange update coming for Pikmin 4. Nintendo posted a video here saying that there is some new stuff being added to Pikmin 4. There is a new field camera, an easier or harder journey, so you can actually change some of the difficulty settings there. You can find decor Pikmin. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but there's like a whole photo mode they added, and then I think there's also some crossover with Pikmin Bloom as well, the mobile game. So you'll be able to send stuff either back and forth or just maybe send stuff to the Pikmin Bloom game. So that's kind of cool. What is notably absent here is that this is not getting a Switch 2 upgrade. So the game is getting an update, but it still will play at 720p on your handheld Switch 2, which is a huge bummer. No 4K update or any kind of frame per second improvement or anything like that. I think that's a really big missed opportunity. And in fact, I think Nintendo's kind of dropping the ball with Switch 2 versions in general. Like, not necessarily like I need a whole bunch of updates to the games, but I mean, just being able to play the games in 1080p handheld and 4K on my TV would be huge for so many of these. What do you guys think about this? ABK, like, you're shaking your head. What do you think about this?
Yeah, it seems like a no-brainer with the Switch 2. A lot of people like to call it the Switch Pro. And yeah, we're looking forward as an audience to a more premium, a more smooth and stable experience while playing these games. And they look beautiful at 1080p, at 4K, at 60 frames a second and up. So yeah, it seems like a no-brainer. They would sell so many more systems. I know they just made a buttload of systems for the holidays. They probably want to move them. But, we'll see where they go from here. But I agree with you.
Yeah. Are there any games, Brian, that you think like really need a Switch 2 upgrade? You know, like an update to just make their performance better on the console?
I mean, they've hit a lot of the ones that I play, so I don't have one just like ready to shoot, just right off my hip. Is there any of them that you're thinking of that you would really like to see?
Ooh, I got one.
Yeah, I think I know Xenoblade fans like really, really, really want those updated. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 especially was rough on Switch. And, I'm sure it just the brute force of the Switch 2 is going to have the performance be a little bit better, but like, but that, it's got a pretty low resolution. I think like that would be an easy 60 FPS, 1080 in handheld.
I have another answer, but those are great. I've started each of those games and not finished any of them specifically because it's such a chunky experience.
They're a little crunchy.
Crunchy. Yeah. Crunchy. Well, there's a lot of other things about that game.
Yeah.
Games, but yeah, I guess my answer was going to be any of the Mario sports titles. I love sports titles that just run a lot smoother.
Yeah.
Having those at higher frame rates and at better resolutions. Being able to see whenever we see Mario and Mario characters with just more detailed textures, it's gorgeous. Like I'm playing through DK Bonanza right now. It's beautiful. Just more of that.
Give the people what they want, Nintendo, and that's Nintendo World Championship NES Edition at a full 4K, 120 frames per second.
The speedrunners might.
No. No one gives a fuck about that, actually.
Make David's day and make a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe
yes.
2 version.
Oh, dude, I'm not even fucking around with that. Yes. Like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is such a beautiful game. Imagine that at 4K on your TV. Like it would look so good. I mean, it looked amazing on Wii U. It'd look even better on Switch 2, right? And that game is still very fun to play online. But I feel like they're trying to funnel everybody into the new game, so maybe they won't do that. But
yeah,
time will tell. Either way, we've kind of lost the sauce here. We were talking about Pikmin 4. I'm sure there are some people that are excited about some of this. Maybe I'll hit up Patrick and see what he thinks about some of these additions. But it seems kind of weird. This game did come out July 2023, and we're just now getting this kind of random update. So I don't know. Maybe we've seen a lot of movement with Pikmin with those shorts recently. I think maybe a new Pikmin game being revealed is imminent. We'll go ahead and move on to our next bit of news, and that involves the Kirby Air Riders Direct. That's right. A second Kirby Air Riders Direct has hit the tower. It is
Sakurai
crazy.
Is on a roll.
This was an hour and 2 minutes long, which feels like a troll. Like it, right? Like
it really does, dude. I didn't watch it this one, but yeah,
it was a good direct. I watched the whole thing, although I had to watch it in chunks because it was so long. But I mean,
space out your viewings.
Yeah, I would recommend it. It wasn't as long as the 4.5 hour long Ringo Starr solo albums rating video that I watched the other day, but it's close. Either way, it's always nice to see Sakurai, and I will say this game looks incredible. Like it looks filled to the brim. This game looks like the opposite of Mario Kart World, so to speak, right? Like Mario Kart World felt like they had a really good system and they figured out like the movement mechanics and the open world kind of like idea, and then just kind of forgot to fill the game with game stuff. You know what I mean? And so this feels like the opposite of that. It's like there's the kart customization or the machine customization that they showed. Like in Mario Kart World, you get a million stickers and you can only ever have one, and it maybe sometimes will go on your card. This game is like, no, you can customize everything about your machine. You can do whatever you want, and you can share it all online. You can buy other people's designs online and whatever. So it's like all this really, really cool stuff. Gummies were revealed. And they're just collectibles that do nothing. They just bounce around. Like there's so much stuff. What is it? Top Ride or Above Ride, the kind of top down version. That's a new mode that was revealed. A lot of the online options were revealed. It just looks like it's filled to the brim. Are you guys excited about Air Riders? Are you going to be picking this up, AVK?
Air Riders looks like a blast, especially, the new modes. The one that's like the top-down mode, it looks like if you gave Sakurai his own ability to make anything into a stock car game, like racing game, and he was like, "Yes, Kirby, that we will do that."
Yeah,
it looks really
like Micro Machines or something, right? Like
it's cool. The little slot cars, that's like kind of a bigger scene in Japan, I think, than over here. But yeah, it looks really cool, and it looks like a fun party game.
Yeah. I think so. I also kind of buried the lead a little bit too. Also, all of the original tracks from the first game will be back in this game as well. So that brings the total number of courses to 18, which isn't a ton, but it seems like they're really filling it with like a lot of other stuff as well. But it's really, really cool that all those originals will be in here with a graphical update as well. Brian, are you excited for this? Does this like kind of tickle your fancy? Are you a Kirby fan?
So when it was first announced, I was like, okay, sure. And then like with all this news coming out and everything they just keep showing everything that's going to be in this game, I'm on board now. I'm probably going to pick it up, if not on day one, pretty close to, because it looks pretty great. And, Mario Kart's been fun, but I feel like it hasn't had the staying power as some of the other Mario Karts have, at least thus far. Maybe in the future they'll add stuff, or we can't hold our breath. So let's play some new kart stuff. Let's hop on some air rides, baby.
Right. And I think the games can totally exist alongside each other. Like I said, there's a ton added to this game that is just not in Mario Kart, but just like the way that you move the karts around, the whole kind of like drifting, boosting mechanic, the way that Air Ride works is fundamentally so different from Mario Kart. So I think like these can exist together perfectly fine. It's just kind of odd, that they're both coming out the same year, I suppose.
We switched to the kart console.
Yeah, absolutely. We did get even more of the amiibos revealed as well. He made a little joke about how huge and expensive they are and how much it costs to make them. And then he was like, we're doing 5. And so there's like 5 $50 amiibos coming out for these. That's right. So if you want to get all the amiibos, it's going to cost you $250. That's before tax. I think they are a little bit more expensive here in the States because of tariffs, but you could swap all of them. But Sakurai's a madman. He really just went all out for this. I mean, it's nice to see him back in the Kirby franchise at all, because, he kind of obviously originated in it, and he's kind of passed the baton off to Hal while he works at Sora Limited. So I don't know. I think it looks cool. If I'm going to get any of the amiibos, probably the DDD, because it's enormous and huge. Yeah. But yeah.
It is cute seeing him being like excited and doing a thing that's not Smash Bros.
Yeah.
You could tell that he was like, I need to do literally anything else.
Yeah. Also, I feel like this game's been done for a long time, so I think there's no shot he's not already working on another game. Like he said, he recorded these videos like soon after his YouTube channel ended, So
what do you guys think it is? What do you guys want to just call any wild shots? What do you think the next Sakurai joint's going to be?
I mean, it's almost 100% Smash, but
probably
what I want it to be is a Kid Icarus Uprising remaster.
Oh,
I'd like for him to at least oversee that.
Yeah, it's probably definitely going to be Smash with Master Chief, and they're going to like bring
with Master Chief. No,
Sakurai's going to like be like
the only Microsoft character I want in there is Satya Nadella, so I could just beat his fucking ass up. Anyway. We're going to move on to our last bit of news here, and that involves the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. You guys remember that from when we were kids and we'd wake up and just smoke a big fat bowl at 5 years old? Wait, what? No, but the Thanksgiving Day Parade is apparently for the first time getting a Mario balloon. Apparently, they've never had a Mario balloon before, and I actually didn't realize that until I was looking at the news right before we started recording. Yeah, Pikachu has had one, but this is the very first time Mario's been there, and it is the Mario Galaxy configuration. It's like him kind of flying, which makes sense because he's going to be floating. He's a balloon after all. But man, oh man, that's exciting, I guess, for people that watch that thing. But also, we're getting so much Mario Galaxy stuff. Is this just, promotion for the new Galaxy remasters and the movie coming out? Or is this another in a long line of Galaxy things leading to something new? We saw Nintendo really teasing out Donkey Kong quite a bit before DK Bonanza was released and announced. Do you think we're seeing something new like that with Mario Galaxy?
From a marketing perspective, it would be brilliant. It would sell a lot of consoles and games. So yeah, it's great. A little disappointing we don't get to see Luigi float, but I can understand how that might cause some, just some worry among some of the people.
Everybody's panties be a little too wet if there's a giant floating Luigi.
It's also true.
Yeah,
so true.
So we need to keep it. We need to keep it non-sexual here with the lesser of the attractive Mario brothers.
Does that open the door for a floating Waluigi?
Well, that's okay. Well, that's when we've reached a lawless, sinful nation, and I'll have none of it. No, I'm kidding. We're already there. What do you think, Brian? Do you think next year we're going to see a brand new Mario Galaxy game to kind of coincide with the Mario Galaxy movie?
My heart says that would fucking rule.
Yeah.
But part of me just feels like it's all related to I feel like it's the movie push. I imagine. I think that's like the more obvious thing. But man, it would fucking rip if we got another Galaxy, because I love those games so much. The first, both of them just like hold a really special place in my heart. I just enjoyed the shit out of both of those games. So I'd love to be wrong.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm putting all my eggs in the Mario Galaxy basket. I think that's what we're working towards. Because why else would they like end the last movie with a Yoshi egg and to tease up a Mario World movie and then skip all the way to Galaxy if they weren't also trying to do something with Galaxy? You know what I mean?
Fair.
Like I could see like these two Galaxy games coming out now to be promo for the movie, but then like why would they do a Galaxy movie in the first place unless they were doing something with Galaxy? So I don't know. I'm gonna be like Mulder or Scully, whichever one believes. I will be that one and say Mulder. Guys, he's the one with the poster. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, either way, I'm looking forward to it. You heard it here first. If there isn't a Mario Galaxy game coming out holiday of next year,
get your CRT monitor.
I'll eat this 8-bit dough controller. Anyway, you heard it here. All right, I'm not going to eat that CRT monitor. Are you kidding me? Oh my God! Imagine my body with that inside me. All right. Anyway, this I could do. All right. Anyway, we're burying the lead, or we're jumping the shark, or whatever we're doing. We're going to take a small break because we have finished the news and rumors, and we are about to move on into our main topic, talking all about game chat improvements and etiquette. Right after this break. And we are back. Daddy got a little bit of brandy during the break here with AVK and B-Bon to talk all about game chat, Nintendo's most advertised feature for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, we are going to be going pretty much in detail in this episode on all the improvements we need to see happen with game chat. I want to do a whole other episode at some point about things that we want to see improve with the operating system as a whole for the Switch 2. But I think this one we're going to be focusing specifically on game chat, because game chat is something that, I think a lot of people were like, I don't really give a fuck. I'm just going to keep using Discord before it came out. But I was really excited whenever they announced game chat. It's what I've been asking for forever, is the ability to just have a microphone on your Switch and just be able to chat directly through your system. So I was super excited. And I think game chat is good. There's a lot of good things about game chat, but it needs improvements. And then on top of that, there's also some manners questions that I feel like we need to get to. Game chat etiquette is not really universalized. People don't really know when's the best time to invite people to chats or whatever. So we're going to try to work through some of that on this episode as well. But before we get into it, let's talk kind of as a whole about game chat. And let's start with you, B-Bon. What are your thoughts on game chat just in totality for the Switch 2?
I think it's a very Nintendo way to implement this particular feature where it's got some things it fucking crushes, and it's got some how did we miss these moments to it. But the things that it does, I think it does do pretty well, you know, like especially that onboard mic. I'm sure we'll talk about it a bunch, but like the fact that that works so well does make it very easy for you just to be like, boop, I'm talking, and I don't have to like go grab a headset and whatnot. So I think it's a thing that I hope they keep working on.
Yeah, like you were kind of saying, it is something that I think a lot of people didn't realize or still do not realize the value of, and maybe just continue to use Discord. But as someone, you know, first of all, let me back it up and just say, you guys, specifically you two and some of the other Super Switch Heads, are some of my favorite people to game chat with in the world. It's been really fun, but I guess, you know, as convenient as it is, some of the features don't really like let you party up and have as much of a fluid social experience while you're gaming as you would like to, or as much as the marketing material might let you suggest.
Sure. Yeah, I think I follow. It's like it's for something that models itself so clearly and obviously off of Discord, like the way that the UI looks and the way that you know the little icons look at the bottom, the green line around the image as you're talking. Like it's missing so much of what makes people use Discord in the first place. And in fact, there are some things about it that make it impossible to use without something like Discord, you know what I mean? Like the invite system and whatnot, right? Like messaging, for instance. But we'll get to some of those in a second. I think we should start with kind of, you know, if you're not super familiar with it, like what it is and some of its positives, right? So obviously, the Switch 2, both the Pro Controller and the Joy-Cons now have a big C button right there. I mean, it's not a big button, but it's a prominent new button, right? That's on all the controllers that has the C on it for game chat. Now, as we have talked about, it is currently free, but it will not be free forever. It will be part of the NSO subscription starting March 31st of next year. But for the time being, it is a free service. A lot of people have complained about the C button, saying that, you know, once, you know, it's no longer free, then now I have this worthless button on my controller. To that, I will say you're pretty much not wrong. But the good news is you can remap that button. So you can make that button whatever you want, right? You could have that be a second home button. You could have that. I don't think you can do macros on the Switch, but, you know, you can make it whatever you want it to be system-wide, right? So that's something I like the C button. I think it's nice to have a button to pull up game chat.
Love the C button. Love the C button.
Yeah, I love the letter C. Really good job designing that one. It's nice and round. It's got that ass. You know what I mean? But I think we what we need to talk about is the quality of game chat. And I think that is the thing that really sets it apart and makes it really, really worth using over something like Discord. Because whenever I use Discord, like I always have some sort of issue where I'm hearing somebody's TV, or, you know, I've got the headphone in one ear and then not in the other one, so I can still hear the screen and hear other people, or any number of like weird things. Game chat kind of gets rid of all of that. Like I will say, like having the voice come out of the TV or out of the game console when I'm playing alongside the game, and the way that it does, you know, the actual mic control, not picking up the stuff in the background. You know, there's a whole thing in the trailer about the roommate doing a blender in the background. Like that is accurate. That is true. Like that has been my experience. Like, you know, you could be on the other side of the house and talking in a pretty much normal volume and it'll pick you up just fine.
Definitely the audio isolation is going to be, I think, top of the list. It's been pretty impressive, I think, to all of us so far.
Yeah.
The very first night we all hopped on, we just kind of, you know, we would all notice something like, oh, hey, did you guys hear that? Like, no, not at all.
Yeah.
We would notice something that it was able to filter out. So that makes the immersion and also the experience of not having to deal with more hardware, trying to get the sound where you want it. It's all coming out of the console through HDMI, through, you know, your system. So yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, no, I agree. Brian, what about you?
The first night that we were doing it, somebody had plugged in a headset and they sounded worse than a lot of the people using just the onboard, like the on mic system mic. And it was just like, wow, that thing is doing a lot and it sounds really fucking good. And it's
the mic is,
it's killer. Yeah. And I know they're doing all sorts of crazy post-processing on it, but whatever they're doing, it's working. And it makes the whole thing possible, I think. Because like if that mic sucked, then like, and you had to have a headset, then that just like adds like a whole nother barrier to entry to getting into it. And so they really like, they set themselves up for success for having a very good feature, I think, by making that mic kick so much ass.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not like, you know, it's not, when we say it's a good mic, it's not like I'm going to go do a fucking podcast with it. No. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's functional. You know what I mean? And functionality is the most important thing. I'd even argue that that's been like Nintendo's primary concern of this entire generation is functionality over flashiness, right? And it's like, and yeah, like you said, it's once you start bringing in third-party accessories, that's when the quality of game chat starts to falter a little bit, right? And then you're not really sure, like, oh, okay, I've got a headphone in, so I don't like hearing it. No, you don't need to do any of that. You know what I mean? It's like just using the onboard mic is going to be where you sound the most clear. You're always audible. It sounds no different when you're laying on the couch with the Switch right in front of you or when it's all the way on the other side of the room and you're docked onto your TV. You're just as audible every time. And maybe there have been a couple times where I've heard a little bit of echoing, but that has been so rare and it has not remained consistent, right? So I'm very, very impressed with that whole system. Now, obviously, with game chat as well, you have the ability to video chat. That has been added. That Nintendo has created a third-party accessory specifically for this. They have their own webcam. You can use any USB webcam. USB-C webcams are apparently preferred, but USB-A webcams also work. That's what I use. I plug it straight into the dock. I know the Nintendo first-party one plugs right into the top of the Switch, which is awkward, and I don't like that. I really wish that the Switch 2 just had a camera built right into the system in the bezel. I think that would have been much better, to be honest. And it would have a reason for, the dock to be slightly up out of, or the Switch to be slightly up out of the dock, right? And kind of poke over it. You have it there in front of your TV anyway. That seems like a no-brainer. I'm really hoping for some sort of third-party camera that, can just slot right into that thing and sit right into it. Overall, the camera, I think, is the most inelegant part of game chat. Yeah. And it's the thing that I kind of care about the least as well. I think that I don't really need to see my friends. I think having just the audio from whoever I'm playing games with, I want to look at the game. You know what I mean? I think that's just kind of a thing about game chat in general is like intrinsically by its nature, having screens at the bottom makes your game screen so much smaller to where I pretty much always want to have game chat full screen anyway, right? Like I think that there's obviously some, advantages to having people share their screen. That's another big part of game chat is the screen share. What do you guys think about screen share? Has that been helpful for you? Have you been in any situations where it's been cool to see what your friends are doing?
Yeah, it is cool to see. I mean, that's another area that I feel like it kind of drops the ball just with the frame rates, but it is cool. It is functional. It doesn't look good, but you can, kind of give each other tips or laugh together about stuff that's happening. Especially with I remember trying with Mario Kart World and it's not consistent enough to keep track of faster paced games, but it's a cool, fun idea that I would love to see them improve and iterate on.
Yeah. I've had a lot of situations where I'm like, especially I think racing games and Mario Kart, seeing where your friends are at is pretty helpful. And, sometimes I've, playing multiple games, I'm playing a game and I'm just hanging out with somebody on game chat and I'm seeing what they're doing has been cool and helpful. And I've enjoyed that. Right. So I'm for it, but yeah, like you said, I hope they can improve the frame rate. We'll get to that, but maybe we can move into some of our game chat etiquette discussion, because I think one of the main things that I think game chat is missing right now, and there's a couple, is that Nintendo added a really robust audio and video conferencing, chatting suite, but didn't bring in kind of the most important part of chatting, which is text, right? I think it's crazy that there's no messaging in game chat. There should be a DM in game chat. I think it's a must. I think you have to be able to message other people, because this is kind of where we're getting into etiquette, right? It's let's say I see that you, Brian, are online playing a game right now, and I really want to play Mario Kart World with you, right? You're not playing Mario Kart World, you're playing Picross, right? But I want to play Mario Kart, and I think that'd be a ton of fun. I feel like the natural thing to do is to shoot you a message and be like, hey buddy, would you like to play Mario Kart World? Right? But in order to do that, I need to either text you or send you a message on Discord or just straight up send you a game chat invite. And I think like I worry sometimes about like, what do people think of me if I send them a game chat invite without first like messaging them out of the blue? Like, are you like naked in a tub right now and like not really wanting to like interact with other people at the moment? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to feel pressured to join my game chat because I've sent you an invite, you know, and then now I'm like holding you ransom, like playing Mario Kart World. Like there's a lot to work through emotionally and mentally here. Obviously we need messaging. I feel like messaging would fix a lot of these problems, but do you guys think it's appropriate to just send a game chat out of nowhere without shooting them a message on a different service first?
I think so. I think it's because the fact that we can't invite people post a chat getting made.
Right.
You know, like I can't just like, I invite AVK and then I see you, David, pop on. I'm like, oh, cool, David's on. Let me add him. It's like, no, I've got to make a whole new fucking chat.
You have to back out and then re-add everybody. Yeah.
Exactly. And so in this world where I can't simply add a person, I staunchly believe that just like a radical invite culture is
good. You think we need to be okay with it?
Yeah, but I think it should with the corollary that like it's okay to not respond.
Right.
Like,
yes.
We're shooting out a wide angle like invite like lens, but no expectations of anyone joining.
Okay, so you're saying that the etiquette is it is okay to cold invite someone to a game chat, but you cannot have your feelings hurt if they completely ignore you.
100%.
Right. Okay. See, but that's interesting then, because if I'm like really set on like Mario Kart World, like maybe you should just like only send one out like while you're playing other shit. You know, like you should because there's got to be nothing more disappointing than like being like, oh, Bebon's on and Bebon loves to play Mario Kart World. I'm going to invite him and then I'm going to like sit here in the lobby and just like wait. It's like, don't do that. That is like bad. You know what I mean? Right. That is like, that's toxic, right? Can we agree on that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think
if this is a really important, both of these distinctions are really important. And this isn't how I first thought of game chat, David. Like the first time you broke it down for me, I was like, this makes so much sense. Yes. Like, let's just treat it like, a perpetual invite, especially if you're playing the same game. No pressure, invite, come hang, you know?
Right.
This is all we have right now within the context of the Switch 2. So that's just where we're at, and that's the best we have. So I think push that out there, let everybody know. Be radical with your chat invites, and let's hang or not.
Yeah, and either way, I'm chill. I'll just play Picross if you don't want to play Mario Kart with me. It's all right. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Don't feel pressured to join me in a game chat, right?
Mm-hmm. Until they let us have, the ability to send messages. At that point, you can get judgy with your friends a little bit more.
Yeah. I'd love to send Bebon a message saying like, game chat tonight, Queen. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. And like, I'd love to, or like MKW, even just that would be fine. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think that, just anything, or maybe we're even really dancing around the invite process in general, right? Because accepting a game chat invite means just joining the chat, but not necessarily auto joining whatever game you're playing, And Nintendo has kind of danced around this like game invite thing for a long time, and some games have them and some don't, but it's not a OS level thing. It is a game by game thing, right? And so I think that might also stymie some of that, or maybe you package them together. Either way, we just need to be able to text. Right?
Yeah.
So that kind of leads us into, I think, one of the other kind of pain points, which is, just the way that parties work, having to remake parties when new people join. I think there's a couple of really easy workarounds, like being able to have your favorite friends automatically have permission to join any chats that you're in, or if you're playing a game. Or if you're playing the same game as one of your best friends or your friends, you should have the ability to set this. It could automatically send an invite for game chat if it knows you're both playing the same game.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. Like that. It'd be cool for close friends to be able to hop in any chat that's already ongoing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And even if not that, then at least like being able to invite people once a chat has already started. I mean, we're jumping ahead a little bit to improvements, but that is one that is another must, right? Like I need to be able to, once a room is created, to make people leave if I want to kick somebody or bring anybody in without having to restart everything, because everybody has to leave. It's not just like I have to start a new chat. It's like literally everyone has to back out and then rejoin once I re-invite everybody. It's absurd, right? Like, and I think that is another huge pain point that is only adding to more of this like weird, like, what do we do about etiquette sort of conversation, right? Like, I think if that weren't a thing, this would be so much easier to parse, like culturally, like what we should be doing right now. And so I don't know. I another thing that I'm going to quickly add here is I think, and I have this as another point on improvements as well, but right now you can get game chat invites in your Nintendo Switch Online app. Like your phone will tell you when you're getting a game chat, but there is no chatting in the app. It's just a notification, right? So I think that they need to merge the voice chat from the original Switch's Nintendo Switch Online app, which was on the phone, and game chat. And if they want to not have messaging be on the Switch, that's okay. Like make it a part of the app. You know what I mean? Like have voice chatting be on the phone, have text chatting be on the phone, but have it all be, you've got your fucking smartphone app. Have it all be in there, dog. Like seems like a no-brainer to me, right? Is there some back-end problem that I'm missing? What's going on here?
It's really funny that we can type in Zelda notes, but we cannot send each other messages in the year 2025.
Yeah. It's weird, dude. I don't understand. I mean, it's like, look, the whole point of game chat is to be free of the app, right? But it's like, there are good things about the app. Like I like that you can upload screenshots directly to the app now and and share to other, social media platforms or whatever, like that's great. Right. But it's like having options, I think is super clutch. Right. And also I think having the phone app work with game chat would mean that you could game chat with friends that have Nintendo Switch Ones. Right? Like now, if I'm playing an online game with 3 people that have a Switch 2 and 1 person that has a Switch 1, we all have to be on Discord, basically, right? In order for that to work. But if you could bring the phone app into a game chat, then all of a sudden that person doesn't feel as left out. We all don't have to bend over backwards and have a lesser experience because we're chatting on Discord or whatever, right? So I think that is super important, and that will also stymie a lot of these weird etiquette issues that we're seeing right now.
So I think that they could probably do that. I'm not an expert, and I don't know much about the ins and outs of the specific microphone on the Switch. But I think making it work with a smartphone, it's more of like a software, like whatever they're doing with all of the audio isolation and the software behind the audio, that's going to be the thing that holds them back from doing that, if anything. But
figure it out.
Have so much money.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
They can do
it. Exactly.
Yeah. That's that. I do not accept that. I think that there are so many things that they could do with this, and I think it's ridiculous that they are not. Let's get back to etiquette real quick. Cam on or off? Do you think it's appropriate to ask someone to turn on their webcam, or even to that measure turn on their screen sharing? Because like right now, you have to be like right now. By default, screen sharing is turned off. So every time I start a new chat, I always have to be like, "Hey, can you turn your screen sharing on?" It's awkward. I hate having to do it. Because I feel like I'm talking down to somebody whenever I do it. It feels bad. But like the whole point of us doing this is so we could see each other, right? You know what I mean? So it's is that okay? Like, am I overstepping a bound when I'm like, hey, turn your camera on, like turn your screen sharing on? Like,
it depends on the context of the conversation. This is where we get into more etiquette, I feel like. Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a no-brainer if someone's like, oh, if you're talking about a certain place you are and you're like, oh, I don't know that place. Can you show me? Totally like, oh yeah, absolutely. But for game sharing, like sharing screens, the camera thing, I think that's more probably personal preference, individual basis, maybe a day by day, case by case.
Yeah, like if Brian's naked in the tub, like we talked about earlier. Yeah,
not
Camera's
everybody
on,
wants
baby.
I mean, this is showbiz, baby. You gotta sometimes.
Dictor chat is back.
You gotta show me the big bucks if we're gonna spend some time on camera. Sometimes that's
Yeah.
But,
yeah. What do you think about the screen sharing thing, Bebon? Is that like, does it feel awkward to you to have to like remind people to turn their screen sharing on?
I feel like there should be a setting for us to be able to just be like auto on.
Yes.
Because in general, I want to share my screen. Camera's a little kind of touch and go sometimes. Maybe I don't have my camera plugged in. Maybe I'm like handheld, maybe whatever, like that's fine. Like I feel like it's same with like Zoom calls. Sometimes you're just like, we're gonna have that camera off, and that's cool.
Right.
But screen share seems like I can't really think of a time where I don't want that on unless like maybe I don't want David to like be critical of my pick cross playing.
Which I would be. Yeah. I absolutely would.
Yeah, just tie it to the best friends feature and call it a day.
I don't even think you need to do that. I'm going to be honest. 95% of the time I want my screen share on. Maybe even more than that. Like I think it's crazy that I have to turn it on every time. It's so annoying. Like and this again, we're jumping around, but it's like this is an improvement I need to see. I need game chat to remember my preference on how it's laid out. Because right now, every time I turn it on, I have to turn screen share on. I have to turn my cam on. I have to change it from the fucking tiny little box on the screen with the giant boxes on the bottom to either full screen or the kind of compressed view, the like middle ground view. Like I want it to remember what my preference is. Right? That all of this stuff that we're talking about right now, that awkwardness would go away. I think they need to make screen sharing turned on by default. I think you opt out of screen sharing. That would be my preference. I know why they don't have it like that right now. And most people would maybe not agree with that. I mean, people prefer to opt into things than opt out, but it's clunky. It's awkward. It takes forever. And it's like, and people just don't use game chat enough because of this awkwardness. And so they aren't getting the muscle memory that they need whenever they're actually using the service. So I think they need to have it remember what your preferences are between game chat sessions, right?
That's a good point. It really does just present another barrier between like the experience that they want, that they're intending for the users to have. So yeah. Why not just remove that barrier?
I'm glad we all agree with that. Okay, one last thing about game chat etiquette before we just get into our kind of a speed round of improvements we need to see. Do you think it's appropriate to invite someone into game chat who you don't like talk to on a regular basis? Like I'm friends with a lot of people on my Switch that I don't just like call on the phone every day or like talk to on Discord every day. But like some of these people like I've wanted to like send a game chat invite to, but I'm also like, are they going to think I'm a fucking weirdo? You know what I mean? Like, is that appropriate? And I'm curious what you guys think about that.
Yeah, that could be pretty hit or miss, right? I think it'll either be like, they'll be excited to hear from you and like excited to reconnect in a fun way, like by playing a game. It's like, even if it's someone who knows if you guys agree about like everything or like, people change over time. So it can be nice to catch up in a low pressure situation, like playing Mario Kart and just talk about that instead of like, real life adult bullshit or whatever. Like if you were to run into someone at a party or, at a coffee shop or something.
No, yeah, I've run into the exact same conundrum because like I've been playing and like I wanted some people to hang with, and it's like people I know from Switch Headz that like, we've played Mario Kart at the Christmas party a couple of times, and maybe like chatted occasionally through, just on the Discord, but like we don't have like a history of like hanging out, and so yeah, I have typically not done it because I'm like, I overthink things. And so I'm just like, I don't know how they're going to feel about me just like out of the blue doing it. But like, I don't know. I feel like it would be a better world if we could just have that idea of you can feel comfortable sending that out, but know that like them not doing that means nothing.
Right.
It's like
it kind of goes back to that first point we were bringing up, right?
Yeah. Because like if we all have that understanding where it's like, this is low stakes, no pressure, do not care, will not hurt my feelings invite. And they go yes or no, depending on how they're feeling. And everyone's cool with that. I feel like if that was what became the norm on specifically game chat, because of all of the clumsiness we've been talking about, I would probably use game chat a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I worry that we're asking too much of introverts.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
So,
I think it's like, because I agree with you,
fair.
Brian and ABK, kind of what we've established here is like, it should be okay to just like blast out a game chat invite. But like I worry about like introverted people that like, that, not like that, that they're gonna like see that and have like fucking like mental damage like immediately. But it's like, are they gonna like spend the rest of the night like not being able to sleep that night because they're like, I should have just accepted that guy's game chat. I was like thinking, I'm such an asshole. He hates me. You know what I mean? Or like sometimes that pressure like builds up with people and they don't talk about it. They internalize it. You know what I mean? And I worry about that. I don't want to make anybody feel bad. Like
100%. It's a great consideration to have.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm backed into a corner. Nintendo isn't making this easy for me. So I'm getting really worked up about this. But it's like, I just think it's easy for us to say, because I feel like all three of us are like pretty extroverted people. You know what I mean? And so it's like, maybe, I don't know if you would assume that about yourself, ABK, but I know B-Bomb, like you and I, we're performers. I would say that we're pretty extroverted. So it's like, I don't know. We're dancing around this. I feel like the answer is there is no real answer and it's Nintendo's fault. But it's like, but I don't know. If you're an introvert, please let us know in the chat, even though I know I'm asking a lot of you by asking that.
The possibility, you can also just turn off your invites to game chats as a setting.
You can.
Right. So, that's for the introverts out there. That is an option.
That's true. That's a good point.
I don't know. I've never done it. I don't know if that allows you to only opt in.
No, you can actually, you can go in and you can toggle every single one of your friends on who you can or cannot take an invite from. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Or can even see that you're online and all that kind of stuff.
So introverts, go do that, and then you won't have to
do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it.
Yeah, we're asking you to do the work so we don't have to.
So we can finally feel good.
All of us will be guilt-free.
This is great. Okay, I'm glad we're doing this episode. Okay, anyway, let's start moving into just more general improvements that we need to see, because game chat, as we've said, we like it. Like, only reason we're doing this is because we think it's a good service and it's good that Nintendo has it. But it needs improvements. Okay, we've talked about messaging. I think that is number one. I think we need it. Absolutely, we need text messaging or DMing over game chat, or just on a system level for the Switch and on the Nintendo Switch Online app. Okay, we talked about being able to invite people to a room. I would say that includes like having a room code for people that aren't your friends that they can join. I think that's super important, but you need to have people be able to drop in, drop out, leave a chat. You kick them if you need to, if somebody's being really annoying, just this clunkiness of going in and out of game chats. And then every time you do join a new game chat, you have to change all your settings again, right? It's fucking ridiculous, right? Like, that is so much friction being added to this thing, which is supposed to be a frictionless experience, right? So we've already talked about those. Sorry, I'm getting really worked up for this episode. Okay, I think
Preach, brother.
I think next one coming up, I think it's pretty ridiculous that it's going to be charged. Right. I think, obviously servers, you got to maintain servers or whatever, but it's like Nintendo. Come on.
Come the fuck on.
You're better than this. Like, I think we need to make it free. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. This has got to be free. Like, that's my number one. Like, make it free. Give us messaging. Then all the other stuff that we have.
They did this with Nintendo Switch Online in the first place. Like, it was a free service for the beginning, and then they eventually charged for it. I think it's mostly okay because it is pretty cheap, but still, it's got a button on the system. You should probably keep it free. Do you agree, Bima?
If you're gonna make a button on the thing, it's like those shitty buttons on your remote for streaming services you don't have.
Like that. Or like the Bixby button on like a Samsung phone. It's like, I'm never going to use your fucking LLM, dude. Like, stop trying to shove it down my throat.
Like, not only will it become a dead button, but will it be just a dead feature? Will people just stop using game chat entirely?
Yeah, I mean, that's what does worry me about having any of this friction. It's just more reason for people not to use this feature on the system, right?
And it's fun. It is fun to use. So that would just, it sucks.
Right. Here's a pretty big one. I'm going to be jumping around the show notes that we have here, but here's a pretty big one. You can't capture video or take screenshots when you're in a game chat session. And this to me feels like a huge oversight. And I'm not sure what the thinking is here. I'm not sure if it's a processing thing, if it's like a RAM OS thing, or if they just really want to make sure that nobody can capture any of the video or audio. But like, if I'm playing Mario Kart World and I'm in the free roam mode with my friends and somebody does something real fun,
Right.
and I can't hold the capture button to record that moment, that is a huge, huge problem, right? Like, I think
It just feels bad.
Yeah, like I feel like I would want to record when I'm playing with friends even more than I would, right? That's another thing that's pushing me back to Discord. Because if I'm chatting with somebody on Discord, I can record that video just fine, right? But if I'm using the service that's on the system, I can't record a video, or I can't even screenshot. And believe me and Bebon, we tested this before the episode. It is, you can't take a picture whether you're in full screen, if the names are turned off. Like, we tried every permutation, and you just could not ever do it while playing Mario Kart World. That was the game we tested in. But it's like, that to me is ridiculous. I think Nintendo needs to fix that ASAP. I'm not sure if that was a mistake or if that was on purpose. And if it was on purpose, I want an explanation from Nintendo, right?
Yeah, like maybe the Switch 2 just can't handle baking in the live audio recordings and you know, the little, especially if you're playing Mario Party online with and everyone has their camera on, that might be too much, you know, to record the video of everyone's faces and their voices and like bake that into the video capture. Maybe that's just like you know, maybe that's just hard for Switch 2, or maybe they just haven't gotten there yet.
You're making me realize there is one permutation that we did not test, and that was when you enter online room in Mario Kart, but you choose the cameras off toggle as you're entering the room. We didn't try that, even though we turned it off. So I'll put a little text right here on the screen in the YouTube video once we test that out on whether or not that is accurate or not. But I would still think every time I've tried to do it so far, it has not allowed me to take video.
Part of me feels like it's 100% a legal thing.
Yeah.
I think it all comes down to they're just scared of adults recording children.
But I mean, it's your friends, right? I mean, it's like,
right.
You gotta, like, they're on your friends list. Like, some of that has to come down to user responsibility, right?
100%, especially with the amount of parental controls they have in place now. Like, they have a lot. So if parents are doing what a parent should do, especially for a kid that's online, they can make it so it's safe. And so they should be able to, like, record their stupid, dumb shit they're doing with their 13-year-old friends.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
that kind of brings up another question. I guess, you know, with user responsibility, and I'm not a parent, despite the amount of dad jokes I've been able to tell in my life. Not yet a dad, but it's kind of like just walk with me here for a second. Maybe the fear of Nintendo is like someone could record a screen capture. Like, do we know exactly how the parental controls work? Like, have there just not been any news of like people like dick pic bombing in game chat? Like,
I don't think anybody's using game chat is the problem.
Okay. Not even the
no, but there's a whole Nintendo put out a whole video. I've got it on the screen now on the YouTube version of parental controls for the operating system as a whole, and when it comes to game chat. Like, there's a whole extra suite of options when it comes to parental controls.
Sure.
Right?
I'm just thinking from like a Nintendo marketing perspective, how horrible would it be if a video was captured where someone was being super inappropriate on the camera, especially playing with kids, and then they recorded that and then thought it was funny, and then it ended up all over the internet? It would be really bad PR, and just like it would look really bad for Nintendo.
Sure. I don't know. It's just like we're in a world of like cell phones, dog. Like, we're in a world where like kids can go on fucking chat roulette on the internet with like zero thing. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just
totally.
At some point we're in a world where people get into the cars of strangers to drive them around. You know what I mean? So it's like, we've got to take, you know, there's a point where we have to give the responsibility to the world rather than to the company that is like running the thing. Anyway, I
think
go ahead.
Look at the number of bad things that happen on Roblox, and that place is doing great.
Yeah, well, actually, never mind. I take everything I said back.
So, to your point, Brian, I think, you know, this is a very Nintendo type of a problem. We don't have these problems, you know, in other console spaces. But the thing about Nintendo is they do realize, and they're very proud of protecting these worlds that they're creating for us to enter, to escape our worlds where we have these problems to deal with. So I think they really treat these spaces as a sacred place. You know, playing games with friends on couches is pretty sacred in my book. This isn't that. This is the next closest thing. And I think they're just trying to be really, really like keep it close to the chest.
Yeah.
And hopefully avoid problems. But
it just unfortunately makes like half measures where we have this game chat that doesn't quite do what we need it to.
It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to me.
Oh, unquestionably.
Let's move on here. It kind of related to not being able to capture like video or pictures when you're in a game chat session. Some games just like straight up don't support screen sharing, I've noticed. We were trying to play golf with your friends recently, and you just couldn't share your screen. You just couldn't do it in that. You could voice chat, but for some reason that game did not allow screen sharing. Now, does that mean that every game has to opt in on the developer side to allow this? Is there something in Golf with Your Friends that disallows screen sharing? We don't know, because there is no way for us to know, because everything is so obfuscated, right? If this is a thing, Nintendo, I need clarification on this. I can't just have some of these things in the dark. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sure there's a number of other games that have this problem. The only one I've noticed is Golf with Your Friends, but still, why? Why is that the case? Again, is there some kind of information that you're trying to hide from people and you want to make sure that people don't get doxxed in some way because of information that might be on the screen? If so, I'd love to know what it is. This kind of being in the dark about it, I think, is unacceptable. So that is something that I would at least like some clarity on. And speaking of screen sharing, let's talk about the elephant in the room. This is something that we saw in the earliest trailers. The frame rate is simply too low on the videos, right? For the bit rate that we're seeing it at, like, it is a low quality stream, like from these games. Like, you could get 30 frames per second out of that.
It's so
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, and if that means taking, memory from other parts of the operating system, I think we can do it. And if you're worried about, 4 people all at once, that's going to be a problem. Okay, well, if it's just me and one other guy, like, that's not a problem. You know what I mean? It's the problem that Sakurai had with not allowing video capture on Smash for the original Switch. It was like under that one situation where 8 people are all playing as ice climbers. You know what I mean? Like, you can't hold everything back for that. Just have it off when 8 people are playing as ice climbers. You know what I mean? No one is ever doing
so
that.
Frustrating. It is so bad.
Like, if it's me and one other person, have the bit rate higher, have the frame rate higher. And if you're not going to make it higher generally, then when I click in on the person's face and I expand their screen share to the full screen and the audio comes on of their game, which is a cool feature, I like that, then at that point, have the frame rate be higher. Because I'm not looking at anything else on my screen at that point. I'm not looking at other people's screen shares.
Variable resolution, variable bit rate with the video chat function specifically seems like it could be a thing that could be a workaround for this. And yeah, if it's just the two of us, maybe you're only seeing like 270p or a 540p image, but it's at 30 frames a second versus, if you're in a party of people and everyone's sharing their screen, maybe that goes down, the quality goes down a little bit. And that's maybe a little bit more understandable than where we are right now because it's so trash.
And I think related to this, something that's not on this list that I kind of just thought of right now, when you're in a game chat of like over 4 people, the other people that aren't the 4 that are able to share their screen are just audio only, right? That's fine. I understand you can't have 12 people all sharing their screen at the same time. That's okay. But there's no way to pick who gets to share their screen or not, right? These are the kind of like options and control abilities that I need. Even if it's just the person who made the chat having kind of admin privileges on whatever the chat is, on who shows their screen and who doesn't. I need options, Nintendo, right? Like, these are little things that I need, right? I think that, something else that's kind of related to that is where things show up on the screen, right? And maybe this will start to kind of move into camera stuff, right? Or some of the screen expansion stuff, right? So when you are in a game chat and everyone's sharing their screen and you have cameras on, you can't decide where in the screen your camera feed shows up in. It always shows up in the bottom right-hand corner. And when you are playing with either your full camera on where it's showing your entire environment or you're just face only, it covers that bottom right portion of the screen, which for a game like Mario Kart World, that's where your placement is. So you simply can't see what place your friends are in at that point, which is kind of the whole point of sharing your screen, right? And in addition to that, whenever you're in the kind of like middle ground mode where the screens are a little bit smaller on the bottom, the name tag of the person like on their screen, it like shows each person's name on their screen, takes up like a third of the screen on the bottom. And it's it covers up the camera on the right-hand side. Like I need options to be able to move where the anchor point of where my camera feed is showing up on my screen share. I need to be able to toggle the names on or off if I don't want to have to see them. You know, whenever you're doing the full screen mode, it gives you an extra suite where you can kind of like see who's speaking. It does a little overlay on the game for whenever people are talking. You can turn that off and on. You can decide if that's in the top left, top right, or bottom left. You know, you can move that around. So just take that functionality. Nice, yeah. But I'm saying like you've got the ability. Take that functionality and move it over to the camera suite options, right?
Mm-hmm. We're right there. They're so close.
Yeah. There are a few other camera things here that I do want to bring up while we're talking about it. One of them is that, you know, third-party cameras are pretty choppy. Like, you know, if you're not using the official Nintendo camera, like the frame rate is way lower. And I know my camera doesn't have a problem with that. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. It might be like a USB-A to USB-C thing. I hope they can fix that in the future. This is a fringe, but whenever you're zooming in on the camera, there's ability to zoom in. Like the camera has really good like head tracking and will follow your face around. But whenever you're zooming in, it just zooms in right into the center. It does not follow your face. So if you zoom in, like it'll just cut you off like on the thing. And it's very, very awkward. It makes no sense. And on top of that, whenever you have it cutting out your background, that just does not work very well. You know, it looks terrible. It's always picking up stuff in the background. You know,
Especially I said, if you have facial hair or long hair, it does not track that very well at all.
And the three of us, we are like light-skinned people. I imagine this is only made worse if you are like a person with more melanin, you know, or a darker-skinned person. Totally. You know, there's a whole podcast probably to talk about racial bias when it comes to technology, but that's certainly one of them. Like I know the Kinect, for instance, has issues picking up dark-skinned users and stuff like that. So I'm sure that these problems are only compounded when it comes to different, you know, shades of skin tone, right?
Totally. Yeah.
And another thing that I noticed while we were testing out some stuff today, I was going in to change some game chat settings. And when I did it, I was kicked from my Mario Kart World thing because of inactivity. Like while I'm in the game chat screen, it like thinks that I'm not playing the game. And so it kicks me and then we have to start all of our online Mario Kart stuff over again. So that was something annoying that I'd love to see fixed. I think it should know when you're in a game chat menu and it means that you're not AFK, right? Come on, Nintendo, let's fix some of this online stuff. Something that I think is missing, and this one's going to be kind of controversial, but there was something with the old cell phone method of chatting that is not possible with game chat. And that is chatting with random people online.
Yes.
Now, I don't necessarily need to have game chat rooms with strangers. I understand that opens up a can of worms that Nintendo probably doesn't want to go down. But I do think it's odd that I could play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with random people in Norway on voice chat, and that is just impossible on my next generation system, right? Like, do you think there should be some sort of way for first-party games to be able to chat with people that you don't have on your friends list? Or is that beyond the pale? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah. Why not? It is fun, especially with games like Mario Kart, where it's just, you know, these really quick matches. There's low consequences for these social interactions, I think, from like the Nintendo perspective, and it's just fun, you know. So yeah,
I think so. Like it was fun hearing a bunch of people like cuss in different languages whenever everybody gets hit by a lightning bolt. You know what I mean? Like I loved that.
Beautiful. You know? Well, you can't get that anywhere else, Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Really exactly. Can't. And a lot of this stuff it's funny we're talking about like, we're like lauding Nintendo for like finally having like onboard voice chat where like every other games console has had this forever. Dude, you know what I mean? It's like, we're talking bare minimum shit here, right? Like, I think, I don't know. I think a lot of this is important. And, you know, they've got a kid-friendly thing that they're trying to uphold. So I understand, but whatever. Anyway, sorry, continue.
I remember when the Switch was new, before like the podcast and Switch Headz itself as an entity was maybe non-existent or still very new. And that was a way, like I ended up making some pretty, fun online, like friends specifically in Mario Kart that I enjoyed playing with for the first year or two of the Switch One lifespan. That wouldn't have been possible without being able to go in on the NSO app and
chat with randoms. Yeah.
I am, an exclusion to like the problem that Nintendo's worried about. I keep it pretty. I make an effort to stay polite, make sure we're all having fun. I do make a lot of jokes and to have a good time with people, but I also try to observe the room. And if there's any kids, I'm not going to make as wild a joke as I might if it's in an adult room. So.
Yeah, I agree. And you can be in a chat like with people that aren't your friends too. Like if I'm friends with somebody that you're not friends with, I can invite you guys both to a game chat. So it's like,
right.
So the wheels are kind of already off.
It's funny
in some ways.
It's really
you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to like, where's the line? You know what I mean? So I don't really know what the answer is there, but someone put something in here. I'm not actually sure who added this, but incentivizing new users to direct game chat with friends by adding NSO missions with rewards. Did one of you guys add that?
That was me. Yeah. Do you guys ever do the NSO missions? I do them when I think about it, and I kind of enjoy getting the extra points,
I do it sometimes just to pretend like we have achievements.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, great. Yeah, that's great. I think subconsciously that's why I do it. But if they want people to use this more, give us some digital and or physical rewards, whether in the form of downloads or access to free games that are exclusive to NSO, make the NSO missions more interactive and make them more fun. How could you do that? Incentivize us to play with each other, and that would be really cool, I think.
Do you use the NSO stuff, Brian? Like
for the exact same reason both of y'all were just talking about. It's occasionally fun to just like have a little check mark, like checklist to go through, and it's like quasi achievements. It's get the little dopamine rush.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't unlock anything of note, but it is fun to do.
Sure.
Well, you get if you get enough, is it silver or gold points? The gold points are for games. If you get enough of the platinum points, I always exchange them for like, I don't know, you get an NSO member exclusive merchandise that you don't pay money for, you just pay your platinum points for.
Sure.
I order those and then give them as gifts throughout the year, just like to friends, So
Interesting. Yeah. Somebody added something as well. Room descriptions. What's
this
that
popped
about?
in my brain as we were going through things. So
Okay.
when you're making a room, and if you blast it out to a bunch of people, right? You don't know what they're doing. I could just be like, I just want to hang, or I'm trying to play Mario Kart.
Or I'm trying to expose myself to all my friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm in the tub.
like world record speedrun attempt or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And because since it is this like hybrid, like almost streaming kind of hangout, like whatever space where like you could have a lot of people, it could be an intimate thing, it would like if we're just blasting out these invites because we have to, it would be easier to like opt in, opt out if I know why you're blasting this invite to me.
Great point. Yeah.
Right. Like, so just like giving it a title.
Yeah.
To be like, this is a Mario Kart World Room or something like that.
I'm playing Mario Kart, get in here or not.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I mean, I think you're right on that. And again, I think I kind of, that hopefully will come in whatever update comes with messaging, right? Like it just text suites, right? And I think that this, maybe there's something else here that this is kind of a shot in the dark that I would love to see, but this is something I'd love to see on an operating system level. Game Chat has this awesome accessibility feature where it can do voice to text, where it'll say, it'll type out everything that everybody says like in their game chat session, right? Which is like borderline creepy, but it's good, especially for people that are deaf that want to play games with their friends, right? So I think that add that to the rest of the operating system. Like I think that the keyboard on Switch should have a little microphone button on it that allows voice to text. And then I don't have to fucking fiddle with the, click B and then A and then C and then K, like on the thing or whatever, right? Like I can just say what I want. It'll show up in a text box, right? Like if you're going to be implementing messaging, that is also going to be something that's nice, because everybody hates typing on a virtual keyboard on the Switch. But if you could just say what it is you want, clearly the tech is there. Like, it is there. It knows what you're saying and transcribes it, right? Mm-hmm. So I would love to have that worked into the virtual keyboard on the system level, right, on the Switch. So I think that is really, really important.
Oh, I just thought of I thought of a kind of good one. I think if they're not going to make it free, at least give us, we all have fond memories of Pick-to-Chat. Give us something at the operating system level where we can all meet up in like a Me Plaza with our Miis, start the game chat, and then be able to play different games from there if we want to, and have it just be a really fun, visually stimulating and more immersive experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that would go against some of Nintendo's like design sensibilities when it comes to their operating systems in this generation. And I think that is kind of like a conversation for like an operating system episode, which again, I think we're going to try to do next week. But that is a good point. I mean, I think that a lot of the charm is gone. And I think having these social spaces is important. And when you strip them away, it's not just stripping some of the character and the charm away from the Nintendo-ness of it all, but it's also like a functionality problem, right? We're like running into issues where it's like, okay, I don't know what you want because you've made this too svelte. You know what I mean?
It's not passing the vibes check and it's not passing the functionality check at this point. So
right. Yeah. Exactly. Well, anyway, I think we've this has been a pretty exhaustive discussion, and I got way more heated than I was expecting. If I'm honest,
David was ranting.
Yeah, I feel like I was like yelling at points, like in this episode. So I apologize.
Like, yes, King. Yes,
for anybody, for all the introverts that are listening to this episode that felt really triggered by this. But I'd like to maybe close, with just what do we think? Like, do we think that Nintendo is going to implement any of this? Because I feel like early on in the Switch, back in let's say 2020, 2021, and everybody was like, everyone finally had a Switch because Animal Crossing came out. And we were like, okay, well, surely all these things that we wanted fixed with the operating system, they'll get updated. We're now in 2025. We've got a whole brand new console. This is like, the Switch 1 was out for 8 years, barely saw any upgrades to anything. Like, do we actually think that Nintendo is going to listen to any of this stuff? I mean, they've kind of proven that they do some updates when people complain about it. Like, for instance, they did an update for Dragon Drive, which I never thought we would see, Oh, shit. Do we think that there's any hope that this stuff will get patched in by Nintendo?
I'll go back to my other answer of my heart says I hope so, but I kind of don't believe it will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we still don't have themes besides, like light and dark.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like, I'm just thinking about some of the conversations we had way back, like 2019, 2020, things we were hoping for, the quality of life things that they might change. And yeah, we still don't have a few. There's a few that I'm missing, but a boy can dream. I'll always
sure.
We know that they can do this, so that's why you get your hopes up. But Nintendo will be Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should close by saying the one positive thing about Game Chat right now is that you can use Game Chat to provide original voice acting for games.
Boom.
Like Pokemon Legends ZA. Who put that in? Who put that in? Who put that in?
That was me. That's my favorite use of That's the best way to get original, voiceover experience while you're playing Pokemon Legends ZA. You game chat with your homie or any of your loved ones.
Or 11 other people.
Yeah. And then you popcorn it. Everybody does one word. And then you...
Everyone gets to choose a character. And you roll a d20 to see who's who. And then you have a voiceover in Pokemon Legends.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
It's a group activity.
Okay, that's giving them too much credit. All right, Nintendo. Listen to me, Nintendo. I know you're listening, okay? These are non-negotiables. The stuff we're talking about in this episode, they need to happen, okay? Game Chat. You want Game Chat to be a thing. You put out 7 different trailers for it. You put out a whole direct on Game Chat. It was like the defining feature of your new system, okay? If you want people to actually use your system, you need to implement some of these quality of life features, okay? I'm telling you. And I don't want to have to do an episode where I worry about hurting the feelings of people because of failures on your end, right? On software-wise, okay? So these are non-negotiables for me. If you want people to actually use your system, then I think that you need to make these solutions, right? So this is a plea for the people that work at Nintendo that I know are listening to this podcast. No, I don't know if they listen to this podcast, but you probably are. And if you are, please pass it up the ladder. Give it to Daddy Sakurai or whoever it is at the top. No, I guess give it to Furukawa himself. Yeah. In order to get this done, this is super important. But more than that, what do you think, listener? Are we off base? Did I lose my temper? Is this awkward? Did I turn people off? Is this? Did we talk too long about this? Please sound off in the comments of this YouTube video. Let us know below. We want to hear your thoughts. We'll discuss it next week on the episode in the shout out section. Please let us know your thoughts. But in the meantime, I think we're going to have to take a little break and move on to our last section, which is the games we've been playing recently. So I've been playing a few games. A lot of my regulars. Been playing a lot of Picross, and then the Pilot Wings games I've been playing recently because of that podcast I talked about before. But mainly I want to talk about a few games I've been playing. First off, the Astrobot DLC on PS5. I finally have been playing some of these, which has been really fun. Everything's computer in Astrobot, and I've been really enjoying this quite a bit. I play a lot of 3D platformers. And so sometimes I play Astrobot and I'm like, this is not what I really want out of a 3D platformer necessarily, but I'm on the final level right now, like the final DLC that like unlocks when you beat all the other levels, and goddamn, it's really fucking hard. So I'm having my shit kicked in from this Astrobot DLC at the moment, but it is very fun. It's a really good time. My main complaint is that the music is really grating, so I end up just putting on other music while I'm playing this game, but it's okay because all the sound effects come out of the controller anyway. After that, I do want to give a shout out to a game that I got a review key for, and this is Utopia Must Fall. This is a really cool game. You're nodding, B-Bon. Have you heard of this one?
Yeah, that game rips.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. It's kind of done in like a Vectrex style. Like if you guys remember that old console that used not pixels, but like vector graphics back in the day. And it's kind of like a combination of like Missile Command and Asteroids and some of like the shmups from the 80s. But, essentially you're in a, major city in the future and an alien invasion is coming in and you've got to, I hope that your city doesn't get destroyed by these like invading hordes of aliens. And the style and the substance of this game is just so cool and flashy. And it's like really dark. And the story is like, it's also a roguelike, I think we should say. Like at the end of every round, you get upgrades that you can then like include in your next run. And man, I'm really impressed with this game. I'm having a really good time. It's very cheap. I think it's like $8 or maybe $10 like on Steam. It was in early access for a while, and I think it's about to come out of early access. I think that's why I got the key, or why they were trying to push it right now is because the 1.0 release is finally coming. But I really recommend Utopia Must Fall. This is a really cool game, and I'm definitely going to be playing a lot more games from this developer as well. Very impressed with that. Next, I've been playing a rhythm game called Hyperbeat. And oh man, Hyperbeat is so bitchin'. I love this game. It's so cunty. Like this game, you play as like this kind of like witchy character who's, I don't know, just kind of like sassy and like kind of this opaque color. I mean, you're flying around these tunnels and using the right stick or the mouse to kind of hit these notes as they're coming at you. It reminds me a lot. I played a ton of Frequency back in the day, which was another game that's kind of Tempest-like, where you're going down a tunnel and it's all set to the beat and whatever. But then on top of this, there's also like a really heartfelt and really interesting emotional story, like at the kind of crux of this game as well, which is just really cool. And it's kind of like teaching me a lot of like life lessons as I'm going through it. I don't know. It's fun. It's queer. It is very much visually stimulating, and the music is incredible. So I really recommend checking out Hyperbeat right now. And thank you very much to the dev for providing me with a key on that one. And then last thing I'm going to bring up, this is something I streamed the other day, and that was a game called Veneneth, I believe is how you pronounce it. Veneneth? I'm not exactly sure, but it is a ball rolling game. I'm a huge ball rolling game guy. I'm a big monkey ball fan. I'm a big fan of Axes. We had the developer of that game on recently. This is a game that is like kind of like a minimalist, like open world vibey Brian Eno ball rolling game, and I'm really enjoying it. Somebody referred to it as Monkey Ball Riven in my chat when I was playing it, and they're not far off. You know, you're solving a lot of puzzles, you're going through, it's no dialogue, and the environments are just very, I don't know, they're like ethereal and kind of, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like that kind of like liminal, right? It's like kind of like you're exploring these like kind of natural liminal spaces. And I don't know, it's a really cool game. I've been enjoying that one too. I think it came out in 2020. Finally got around to it. I bought it on a sale or something like that. But those are the games that I've been playing recently. What about you, Brian? What have you been playing?
So I just recently rolled credits on Bennett Foddy's new game, Baby Steps.
Wow, congratulations. That's a hard game.
Thank you. I fucking loved it. I have never completed another Bennett Foddy game. I played a little bit of getting over it, and I was like, I can't. I get it. It's just I hurt too much while playing this. Baby Steps is a game meant to be finished. It is like,
it's not like the other Rage games that are just for streaming or whatever.
You are the joke a good number of the times, but like, you're not having to redo like 6 hours of work. Like the longest, like the hardest things that are in the game are all optional. And so there's like a ton of like achievements you can get. And there's this one really fucking hard like route you can take, but you can also just go up a staircase. If you don't,
I heard about that. Like the one of the later mountains in the game or whatever.
Yeah. It's really funny that like the way they present it and the way that you end up interacting with it is so fucking funny. And I cannot overstate how good the comedy is in this game. I laughed, like deep belly laughed the entire time I played it. I loved it.
That's great.
Outside of that, another climbing game. I guess we're in climbing season. I've been playing Peak with a bunch of friends.
Nice.
I just sort of like fell out of my gaming group. We haven't been playing much like online recently, and so I've kind of bullied them all into buying Peak because it's only like $8. And man, it's a fun game to just hang out and chat and just like climb as little Boy Scouts. It's cute.
Is that a Steam Deck game for you? You playing that on deck?
I'm playing that one on my PC, but I am, speaking of Steam Deck, I've been playing Monochrome Heights on my Steam Deck.
Oh,
yeah,
nice, dude.
Never heard of that.
No one's heard of this game. I'm
That's
going to tell you about it. No, I'm just kidding.
People on this podcast and fans of this podcast know it, but more people need to know about this game.
No, this game fucking rules.
Yeah.
Monochrome Heights is incredible. Patrick, you did an incredible job.
Yeah.
I've been having a really good time with it.
Shout out Peter.
I don't need to necessarily belabor the point. You all need to go buy that game. It's very fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. Monochrome Heights needs to like make it into the main canon of video game platformers because it is a far better, it is like the definition of a hidden gem.
Buy Monochrome Heights and then go put it on YouTube and TikTok everywhere. Just blast it out
Exactly.
there.
Yes. TikTok this game.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why I've been
Game of
playing
the
it on my
year.
Steam Deck so that I could take it around. I've been like showing people. I've been like putting it in people's faces. I'm like, buy this game, do it.
Yeah, I've definitely bought it
shit.
for a few friends as well. But
Nice.
all right, AVK, what about you? What have you been playing?
Yeah, guys. I finally got my hands on DK Bonanza and just been loving everything about that game, especially the sound design just never ceases to make me smile, and it really tickles my brain, especially just every time you find it. I look forward to punching through the bananas just to hear the, oh, banana, like warms me up inside. DK Bonanza has been fantastic. Revisiting Final Fantasy Tactics for the first time since childhood. I spent 600 hours across 2 copies of Final Fantasy Tactics.
Whoa.
But I never played the actual Final Fantasy Tactics. So
the Ivalus Chronicles, the new one?
The Evilus Chronicles has been cool. I'm going back and kind of realizing, although I had a really, really powerful party in that game, my ninjas and assassins were just like OP as hell. I did not know what the hell I was doing in that game. So relearning the job systems as an adult has been really fun. It tickles my tactical brain, as well as I've been playing Pokemon and like the physical cards, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
right.
We got cards over here. So,
hell yeah. Dog.
Shout out to Boxbusters Games in Golden, Colorado. I had to skip our league night. I've been helping them build a real healthy local league night scene over there.
Nice.
This is the first one that I've missed since they started. So shout out to Gage and everybody over at Boxbusters. See you guys next week. And then other than that, also just been playing IRL, shooting hoops outside. There's a really scenic court that's about a 5-minute bike ride from where I live. And I've never really, coming from Texas originally, I've never had the opportunity to shoot at a court with a nice mountain view. So
right.
Keep an eye out for more on that.
Where you were playing a lot of basketball in El Paso, I suppose.
Yeah, not in Dallas. Not in
Dallas.
Definitely not. But yeah, so it's been really cool just to be outside with friends and shoot a little hoops and play some tabletop games as well.
Hell yeah, man. That sounds fun. Yeah. Well, congratulations for having a social life. We're all so happy for you.
Oh, I didn't even tell you guys about my D&D campaign. Do we have time? Hold on. How much time do we have?
No, this episode's gone on too long. This is an embarrassing length for an episode about game chat. That's all I'm going to say.
Let me tell you about Delta Green.
No! All right. That's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Brian and AVK, thank you guys so much for joining on the episode today. It was such a delight to have you. And I hope that everybody learned something about game chat here today. And I hope Nintendo was listening. Thanks to MilkyWay.co for doing our website. Thanks to Corduroy for doing our music. Thanks to all of our patrons on Patreon. And if you'd like to find me online, I'm pretty much everywhere on the internet at Monolith Fiji. What about you, AVK? Where can people find you online?
Yeah, go ahead and check me out I'm pretty much off everywhere except for, you can go to Instagram. I'm alex.handhold. Kind of sounds like Alex Honnold is the joke. I'm a climber as well, but alex.handhold. I like holding hands.
Yeah.
So yeah, connect with me over there and we'll share some jokes about games or music or anything else in life, really.
Very good. What about you, Brian? Where can people find you online?
I'd say pop on Blue Sky. I'm on Bbon there. It's pretty much the only social media I really do, except for when people bug me on Instagram, but it's fine.
Very good. I'm glad to see most people are rejecting like the oligopoly of the tech bro media empires that are completely taking over everything. That's an episode we probably need to do at some point. In the right wingification of media. It's absurd. It's driving me fucking crazy. But yes, you can find me on Blue Sky. I'm mainly over there as well. It feels nice to have one social network that is not owned by a billionaire, right? Anyway, we'll talk about that in another episode. But if you'd like to find our show on social media, we are at Switch Headz on the Nazi platform Twitter and on the good platform Blue Sky. We are at Super Switch Headz on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We have a website, switchheadz.com, and we have a Discord, a Facebook group, and a Patreon. We would love it if you could join us over there on the Discord. It's such a wonderful community of people. Just a delight after a long day to chat with some like-minded folks, a non-toxic group of gamers. Oh, like I said before, we have our Patreon as well. If you'd like to chuck in $1, we would very much appreciate your patronage over there. And otherwise, we're here on YouTube, baby. Yeah, like and subscribe. We got the video version of the show. We're throwing trailers up. We got handsome men on the show. We got we run the gamut of video production abilities here. So make sure you subscribe to us over on YouTube. Share us with a friend. Give us a like and a subscribe and a review over on Apple and Spotify or any of these other podcasting platforms. We would love to have you on any of those. That's going to do it. We got another great episode for you guys next week with a really fun guest. But until then, you guys know the deal. Stay safe out there. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to one another. Maybe try out Game Chat. Maybe write your senator.
Hit us up on Game Chat.
Yeah, hit us up on Game Chat. Maybe if you know the president of Nintendo, tell him that we're mad and we want Game Chat to be better because it's not bad.
You did it. We got there.
Fuck guys. Free Palestine. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.